Hello, good afternoon everyone. I am Kayambam Olivia, bearing roll number 10270. This video is meant as a part of the recruitment process of assistant professor at different Sanskrit colleges across the country under Central Sanskrit University. Here, in this stage, we are given an opportunity to talk on any topic of our choice. So let's discuss about the Lalllup system, which was a part of ancient Manipuri administration in this video. Let's start. Countries over the world impose taxes from the people for the overall development of infrastructure and taking up of many projects for the development of the country. India, also a fast developing country, imposed many taxes to the general people, whether it be direct or indirect. Like mentioned, maybe made up some taxes like income tax, the GST, goods and services taxes, before that value added taxes, the property tax, and many other form of taxes prevail. These taxes are collected so that the government could take up many projects for the overall development of the country. Likewise, in ancient Manipuri administration also, taxes were imposed to the general people for the development of the state. Some taxes were collected in the form of cash, sometimes as parts of the goods, and some taxes were collected in the form of labor. So those taxes which were imposed in the form of labor is known as Lalllup system. So let us learn in this video more about the Lalllup system, which played a very important role in the ancient Manipuri administration. The Lalllup system was one of the most important administrative as well as military institution in the history of the Kingdom of Manipur. T.C. Hudson was of the view that T.C. Hudson, a British officer, T.C. Hudson was of the view that Lalllup was a military organization or warfare organization. But in times of peace, that is non-war time, the institution played a role in uplifting the economic life of the state. The etymology of the word Lalllup itself refers to Lal means war in Manipuri and Lup means organization. That is, the people were given military warfare services, were trained in times to be deployed in times of war. So the Lalllup was one of the important military as well as administrative institution in the history of Manipur. Under this system, every adult male citizen aged between 17 to 60 years of age, 17 to 60 years of age were required to render this compulsory labor as well as military service for the kingdom. So the Lalllup system played a crucial role in maintaining the defense, the governance, social works, public works and social organization in pre-colonial Manipur. It also helped the king mobilize manpower for warfare, for constructions, or for infrastructural projects, for agricultural and many other state duties as well. So understanding the Lalllup system will help us understand how the traditional Manipuri state functioned before this modern administrative structure fully developed. So let's see further what on the Lalllup system. The Lalllup system was a corvée labor system, means it was practiced during the reign of Meitei kings, that is in the pre-colonial period. It was a corvée labor system, meaning that the people are going to pay the taxes in labor instead of money. Means they are going to pay the taxes in labor. They are going to work for the palace, for the king, instead of paying in cash or in money. So the Lalllup was a rotational service. The Lalllup comprises of 40 days period, under which 10 days is to be work for the king, for the people had to work for the kingdom, for the king, and the remaining 30 days is for his personal job. Like he used to be a carpenter, or he is a blacksmith or agricultural laborer, or whatever job personal job he took up. The 30 days is for his personal job. So it goes on a rotational basis. So 10 days for the king, for the kingdom, then he is to go home for this next 30 days to take up his personal job. And after the completion of his 30 days at home, then he will again come to the palace for the next Lalllup period, for the next 10 days of Lalllup period, and it goes on this way. So the Lalllup system and continues in a rotational basis. So moving on further, the Lalllup system was organized very in a well-mannered way by the king. He appointed officials on behalf of him to administer the works being done. The officials also make sure that all the Lalllup members perform their duty properly. So now let's see what are the services which are included in the Lalllup. The services of the Lalllup includes, number one, the military services. As being viewed by T.C. Hudson, the Lalllup was a military organization. So every member of the Lalllup were trained to use for warfare tactics, martial arts, to use weapons and so on. They are being readied 24/7 as war may occur at any time of the day. So the service which are rendered under a Lalllup service is military service. The men service is military service. So the Lalllup members acted as soldiers. They used to guard the palace, they used to guard the forts and so on. Number two is public works. Some of the Lalllup members take up the public works, that is some dig ponds, some dug wells, irrigation jobs, some construct roads, some construct bridges, and some other construct markets and so on. As a whole, some of the Lalllup members do the job of public works in bringing the developing the infrastructural development of the state. Number third is agricultural work. The Lalllup members, some of the Lalllup members take up the job of agricultural work in the lands of the king. So these are the services which are provided under the Lalllup system. Next, let's see what is Kundin in Lalllup. The Kundin is very important part in the Lalllup system. Kundin means a meeting. On the 10th day, as told earlier, the Lalllup comprises of 10 days period, a phase of 10 days. So in the 9th day, after their day's work is being done, that is after their work is completed, while they are going to take rest, rather I think in the evening or so, a meeting is being held by the Lalllup members along with the head of the Lalllup, known as a Lalllup Chingba, to discuss on the agenda of the leave being applied by the members of the next Lalllup group. So the meeting is being held on the 9th day. So this meeting is called the Mapanigi Kundinba, or the 9th day meeting. So as told earlier, Lalllup carries on for 10 days. So the meeting is held on the 9th day. That on the 9th day, then that means they are going to work for the next 1 day, and then they are going to go back home. And from the 11th day, there is another group of Lalllup members will come up to the palace and take another task, and so on. It goes on continuously like this. So on this meeting of the 9th day, the current members were asked if they would like to take up the extra tasks of the members who are applying leave from the next Lalllup group. Say, for example, the members of the next Lalllup group, due to some unavoidable circumstances like death of a family members or certain illness or some unavoidable circumstances, that he cannot take up the duty of the Lalllup, so he would apply for leave. So in from the current members, the Lalllup Chingba asked who is willing to take up the job of the task of the member to be on leave, provided in the condition that he would be paid for the extra duty that he is going to take up. So this is the Mapani Kundin, which is very important to make sure that the Lalllup members continue to work for the sake of the kingdom. So now let's see the provisions which are provided under which the Lalllup members could apply for leave. There are three provisions under which the Lalllup members could apply for leave. The number one is Jingjin Langban Thokaiba. Jingjin Langban refers to, in Manipur calendar, refers to monsoon. Monsoon is the time where agricultural duties is to be done, as it cannot be postponed or abandoned or whatever. So Manipur is an agricultural land. Most of the people here are agricultural laborers. So during the monsoon season, paddies are to be sown, are to be planted. So it is a time we cannot postpone the works of the agricultural paddy fields. So the king know that this is the time where the people are the busiest, because they cannot postpone the rain and so on. They cannot hold the rain and so on. So the king knew the condition of the people, and he granted leave these days under the provision of Jingjin Langban Thokaiba. The second provision is Palemlang Panthaulang Kaiba. Under this provision, due to some unavoidable circumstances like a death of a family member, illness, where the presence of the Lalllup member is compulsory, is mandatory, then he could apply leave under this provision. The Lalllup Chingba, the leave being applied by him, will be heard by the Lalllup Chingba, and the Lalllup Chingba on the 9th day Kundin, Mapani Kundin, he will put up he will put up in the agenda that this particular Mr. XYZ has applied for leave for this particular day. So any one of you who would like to take up his place, provided that you will be paid. So the provision of paying is such that for the first day, the amount will be whatever they manages, and if you apply for the second day, the amount will be half the more the previous day. Like for example, if they were willing to pay ₹1, then for the second, if you apply leave for the second day, then he will pay ₹1.5, and it continues like that, so on. Number third provision is Aka Akum Thingba. Here in this provision, the members of a Lalllup, the Lalllup members were given a specific task to be completed in this 10 days period. So the Lalllup members provisioned that they will not be able to complete their given tasks in this given 10 days. So in suppose at the 7th or 8th or 9th day, they will discuss that we cannot complete our tasks, so let's borrow some member from another Lalllup group. So the provisions of borrowing Lalllup members within the Lalllup groups to complete the given task is known as Aka Akum Thingba. But here also the borrowed members must repay the labor being borrowed in times of need to the Lalllup group from which they are borrowing the labor. So this is a glimpse of the Lalllup system which prevailed in ancient Manipuri administration. The Lalllup system played a very crucial role in maintaining peace, in bringing about infrastructural development in the history of the Kingdom of Manipur. It is worthy to be mentioned here that Manipur is the place of Ima market. Ima market means mother market, women market. Manipur is the only place famous for the market run wholly by women. In fact, in one of the KBC season, the man became crorepati from this answer that the only place where women run the market is Manipur. So why, we can ask a question, why Manipuri women took up the role of earning money very early? Why? The reason is, some of the scholars are of the view that Lalllup was the reason behind Manipuri women come out of their home and sell things and become vegetable vendors or whatever they sell. So during this 10 days period, the husband or the male family members leave their family for long 10 days. So in these 10 days, as Manipur was not very developed, very prosperous country, state at the time. So the women were left with no choice but to come out of the house, left their household chores, and sell whatever products, local products like vegetables, rice, grains, or whatever. So this led to the establishment. This was the first step which led to the establishment of the only women market in the world. So with this, I hope I have given a few information. I have given some details about the Lalllup system, which was a very important part in the development of ancient Manipuri administration. I hope the video was helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much.